guys, it's Kirby. Welcome to my channel. In today's video, we are doing our annual Thanksgiving coffee and concealer video. Except I'm filming this at what, 6:30 at night, so this is actually tea. The tea that we are drinking today is from David's Tea. It's the cotton candy rooibos because, again, I'm over 30 and I can't be drinking coffee at 6:30 at night. That's all I gotta say. I also had 2 coffees today. Usually I only allow myself 1 in the morning, but I did have an iced coffee from Sheetz and it was good. So, today I guess we are sipping the tea, spilling the tea on some concealer. Last year I did my favorites concealers for coffee and concealer, and I'd have to say most of them haven't changed. I've pretty much used the exact same concealers for like a whole year, or I've repurchased them or whatever. So this year I thought that we would test out a new concealer for myself. It's not new to the market, but it's new to me. I splurged and went to the high-end side of Ulta, got some Urban Decay, and then we're also going to be testing out an e.l.f. Halo Glow setting powder. Very excited about this. I've already done my foundation and I did my eyeshadow and eyebrows off camera to save a little bit of time. I did not use this concealer we're about to try on my eyes. I used another concealer. I will link the products that I used on my eyes and everything down in the description box below, so if you're interested in it, you can check it out. Today's concealer video is from Urban Decay Stay Naked Correcting Concealer Up to 24-Hour Wear. This is not sponsored, I promise you. I paid my own money for this. I got the shade 30NN, which is light neutral. And the box claims buildable, full coverage, flexible, breathable, does not transfer, real skin matte finish, corrects the look of imperfections, waterproof, vegan formula, does not contain animal-derived ingredients or byproducts. This was $29. It comes in 25 shades. The jury is out on if this is my actual shade or not. I prefer concealers that are a bit lighter and more on the yellow side to my skin tone. That's just how I prefer my concealers to look. It gives me a very bright under eye. I know that is not necessarily the popular opinion for concealers because some people like to have the actual shade of their skin. Some people like to go in the more like pinky peach side to cover up, like to color correct with their concealers. I just like mine a little bit lighter and on the yellow side. Personal opinion, that's just how I like it. So as I was testing these in Ulta on my hand, because I don't like to test testers on my face for obvious reasons, this is the shade that I got that matched closely to Tarte Shape Tape Light Sand. It was not an exact match, but it was close enough that I was able to purchase this confidently. Tarte Shape Tape Light Sand is like my go-to concealer shade, so we'll see. I did not color correct either underneath my eyes. I do have like the lightest bit of foundation, but we're just going in. I do like the little like doe foot. It's kind of curved. Holds a lot of product. Let's see here. Alright. We've applied. It's gonna sit for just a hot second. I am going to blend these out in 2 different ways because some of you out there blend with a sponge, some of you out there blend with a brush. I go both ways when it comes to blending lately. I used to be very opposed to brush blending, but recently, I don't know what it is, I've really enjoyed it, so I'm going to do it both ways. I'm going to use the sponge on this side and the brush on this side, so we're going to go in with a brush first. I'm not putting any type of like setting spray or anything on the brush. I'm just going in with a dry brush. This is a Real Techniques Dark Areas Correcting Brush. It's like a dense stipple brush, or like dense duo fiber brush. That's the only way I can describe it. So finished blending with a brush. That's actually a really nice shade for me. I'm going to let it sit though to see if it like oxidizes into any like weird colors or whatever. But it is sitting on top of the skin very, very nice. It blended out very, very easily. It's not like the thickest formula ever. I'm very used to a very thick formula concealer with the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear Concealer. This is a very thick concealer. The e.l.f. Camo Concealer is very thick. Even the Tarte Shape Tape's very thick. So this is a little bit of a thinner formula than I'm used to. So I might have to go in with like a second coat. But it is sitting on top of the skin and interacting with my foundation very, very nicely. Now it's time for the sponge. This is just a little mini Real Techniques sponge. I did wet it and damp it. It's probably been like a good 40 minutes that it's been sitting while I've been doing like the rest of my other makeup and my hair and stuff. So it is a damp sponge, not too wet, but wet and spongy. Sponge side blended out. Again, very nice, sits on top of the foundation well, blended out with a sponge. I feel like the sponge picked up a lot more of the product. Again, it's a thin formula already, and I can notice that like where my dark circles like are the worst, it's definitely much more pronounced on the sponge side. Again, I didn't do any color correcting, which I have been lately because my dark circles have been so prominent. But this concealer in the shade that I personally got is doing a very good job of kind of like canceling out the colors underneath my eyes. It is doing well. I am going to put another quick coat on just for like heavy coverage's sake, because again, I think I'm just used to a much more thick consistency concealer, but this is a nice coverage. It has done its job. So the concealer has been sitting on my skin just for a moment. I'm not noticing any like weird oxidization or oranging of it or anything like that. I do have natural creasing underneath my eyes, and so like the concealer is creasing really close to my lash line. But that happens with every single concealer that I have. I do not trust any concealer that's like anti-creasing. Don't trust that. Honestly, just don't. We all have natural creases underneath our eyes. That's just like how human skin works. It's okay if your concealer creases. Just be like making sure that you're checking it throughout the day, or powdering correctly, or however you want to. So next we're going to try and put directly on top of this is the e.l.f. Halo Setting Powder, or Halo Glow Setting Powder. I have some thoughts and feelings about this already. So this is $8 and it comes in 6 shades. I got the shade Light. It comes in medium, deep, soft pink, golden something, and something else. So this powder, the first ingredient in it is mica. So it does have like some small shimmers to it. I will read what e.l.f. has put on its website about this as I'm putting it on, because it is a little bit of a lengthy description. So it says, what is it? A loose setting powder that lightly veils the skin for that dreamy airbrushed finish. Why we love it. Weightless feel on the skin, creates a soft glow without shine. Setting powder smooths the look of pores and fine lines, talc free. Sapphire particles, lab created and finely milled for a soft glow. No filter because you don't need one. This loose setting powder is a light and silky texture that leaves your skin shine free on the surface with natural luminosity from within. Infused with lab created sapphire particles, the formula blurs imperfections and gives your complexion a smooth, soft focus look that's always selfie ready. I'm using a like velour puff on one side and a brush on the other side, mainly because I'm not entirely sure what is the best technique for this type of setting powder. Sometimes these blurring setting powders are really meant to be used with a brush rather than a velour puff, so we're trying both out. So this side I velour puffed my face with the halo setting powder, and this side I used a brush. The box, I found the packaging. The box says directions: swirl a powder brush over the powder, tap off the excess, and apply onto face and neck to set makeup. I think that this is meant to be more of a finishing powder than an actual setting powder, if I'm being honest, because it does have that mica, the lab created sapphires, and like that luminosity in it. I definitely think it's more meant to be like a finishing powder rather than like a setting powder. However, let's back up now, because the velour puff side, I think my under eyes look great. I feel like it did not interact weird with the concealer, one, which is always a plus, and two, it's reflecting the light so nicely that, like, even though I did not use color corrector underneath my eyes, the little bit of darkness from the thinner formula of the Urban Decay is like totally gone because of the reflection of the powder. I will say I prefer the velour puff side more than I prefer the brush side. I feel like the brush side is just like a little too light, in my opinion, in my professional opinion. But yeah, it's more a personal opinion actually. Yeah, but I do like the powder. It's very lightweight. It applied very nicely. It's not like heavy on the skin at all. And it makes my under eyes, like, it just blurs everything out. I wonder how well it photographs. Let's take a selfie. This is a terrible selfie, but it is photographing really nicely, at least with the like selfie cam. Again, blurring a lot of imperfections. This isn't like the best makeup I've ever done in my whole entire life because it's 6:30 at night. So I'm gonna go finish the rest of my face off camera, like bronzer and blush and a little lip. And we're gonna come back to talk about how it's kind of like set on my face, the concealer, how that's wearing with the powder, and how like the setting powder interacted with my bronzer and blush. So yeah, give me a second. Okay guys, finished the face, put a little bronzer, blush, highlight, lip on, and I'm feeling a little bit better about it. Overall, I am happy with how the Urban Decay Stay Naked correcting fluid or correcting concealer worked. It is a nice concealer. It's just a little bit of a thin formula, and like I am just used to a thick with 2 C's formula. It is nice. I would recommend it, especially for people who like doing like more natural makeup. This would be really great to get in like your skin tone because it blends out so nicely and easily. However, I am noticing that, like, yes, I did say earlier in this video, all concealers crease. This is true, all concealers do crease. However, this one is creasing a little bit more than normal, and I am having a hard time using my finger to kind of like blend the creasing out. I don't know if you can tell so much on camera. I keep looking in my monitor to like see what you might be able to see. In my mirror, up close and personal, it's a lot more noticeable than I think that the camera is picking up. So yeah, just be aware of that. The Halo Glow setting powder from e.l.f. though, I had my suspicions that it was going to be very shimmery. The powder's giving me a very luminous glow, a lot of luminosity without being glittery. Sometimes e.l.f. has a tendency to put luminous or glow on the packaging, and then all of a sudden you kind of look like glittery because they kind of like just added larger particles of something in there. The Halo Glow setting powder though is giving me luminous without being shiny or glittery, if that makes sense. It's very different than some of the other like luminous glow powders that I have. I thought that this would have been like a dupe for the Lancome Absolute powder, which is very shimmery, like very, very shimmery. But this one actually has less of a shine and more of like a powder finish to it. So I do recommend this. I think I'm gonna try and play with it more as a finishing powder, like over top of a powder foundation or like over top of some of my more higher end or better quality setting powders to see if maybe it gives me the same effect and I can get a little bit better setting on this concealer. And I am going to continue to use this concealer to see, playing around using maybe like powder foundations over it as well as like different setting powders and translucent powders and things to see if I can get different effects. But you guys, this was a very successful coffee and concealers video this year, even though we're drinking tea because it's now what, 7 o'clock at night? Yeah, 7 o'clock at night. Also, can we talk about this lip? This is very similar to the lip I was wearing in my BoxyCharm video. I'm using the LA Girl Shockwave Nude Liner in Maple Glaze, not gingerbread, Maple Glaze, and the Dose of Colors lip gloss, Can You Not? People. I'll link it in the bio. I'll link it in the description box so you can check it out on your own time. I will link everything that I used on my face in the description box below so you can check all of that out on your own time. If you're interested, you check that out yourself. Click on those links. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big old thumbs up. Have any of you used the Stay Naked Correcting Concealer from Urban Decay or the e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder? Do you guys have tips, tricks about using these products? Let me know in the comment section below. Let's start a conversation. As always, please be sure to subscribe and hit the little notification bell. I would hate for you to miss out on any more videos. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Happy Thanksgiving.